Space Action Podcast. With your hosts, Chris Carson and D.C Chris.
Welcome to Space Action Podcast. Division, extension, or subsidiary, take your pick, of SpaceActionHeroes.com, a webcomic you can find at the aforementioned SpaceActionHeroes.com. I am nailing this intro. I am Chris Carson.
D.C and Davey.
And Davey.
Come on, dude. Come on. Davey's coming in for
Davey's
this episode.
coming right off of the bat. You're going to offer your 2 cents. This week we thought we'd try something, I guess, a little different. We're going to talk about the video game's world with us to celebrate the recent release of Red Dead Redemption 2.
You got some money for me, boy? I seen your name in our ledger.
You're a wanted man, Mr. Morgan.
Maybe when your mother's finished mourning your father, I'll keep her in black on your behalf.
The phenomenon. I love how legendary it's already become.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
It's insane how it was on. It just for us. We're recording this right now. It just came out Thursday last week, and literally I was talking to you, Barry. Everyone was just waiting. You were telling me about Dylan, just waiting for the countdown to hit midnight so we could all just be really tired the next day.
I bought a PlayStation just for this.
For it, yeah.
I haven't bought a console since the 360, 6 years ago.
Oh yeah, you got the Pro. And the 5's coming out in 18 months. That kind of sucks. We're right at the tail end of it like that. Because Red Dead did it for Grand Theft Auto 5. They released Grand Theft Auto 5 at the tail end of the 360 era.
That's right.
The remastered one.
That's right.
I
got that for Steam.
Yeah.
Fun.
But yeah, I've been playing the shit out of Red Dead for the time I've had to play it, and it's really great. We haven't got too far in the story. But
I haven't gotten very far at all.
The game mechanics are just amazing. The options you have in the world.
I'm really privileged, and again, I have not probably done maybe about 2-3 hours worth, not a ton.
I think in total I've done about 6.
But the one thing that kind of irked me was the inclusion of eating food again. I was having flashbacks of San Andreas.
Oh right,
I have to feed myself.
I hate survival games like that. I love the environment of survival games, but I hate having to consistently be watching that shit.
Yeah,
and it does. I know it's not so intrusive because I think I've had to feed myself 3 times in 6 hours of playing.
Okay,
and so I'm always just sort of starving, I guess.
But does that improve, affect your speed? Or
I think it makes your stamina go a little slower, so you're a little bit slower. You run out of breath a little quicker when you're running. Your horse controls worse if you don't keep him fed. He bucks you off and stuff.
That's the only thing I was kind of why'd you bring that back?
You got to keep that survival.
Can you imagine
element.
if in GTA you had to keep your car full of gas?
Yeah,
it's just why the fuck did you bring that back?
I'm not a fan of that myself. Those mechanics always feel like when you're low on content, throwing those mechanics to extend the gameplay, which isn't something Rockstar typically needs to fall back on.
Especially when you know everybody's going to be getting this one. It's one of the most highly anticipated games of ever. You fucking don't need to keep people roped in. People are going to play the shit out of this,
no matter what,
based on the original one.
It's I saw the you know how they always sell the guide for the games. I was a little worried when I saw the guide for the game in EB Games today because it's really thin. So I was like, "Oh, is this actually kind of a short game, or why is the
We'll
guidebook?"
see. I remember whenever GTA 5 came out, and within 3 days, someone posted a video of the ending credits.
Yeah,
and that's a fucking 48-hour game. Yeah. That could be in 3 days. I'm like, that's not even what
you just played it straight through.
Yeah, what the hell?
They said the estimated time for the entire game, doing every side mission, everything you can do, maxing out your character, blah 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 blah, every horse, every outfit, is 60 hours, which doesn't feel like that long for every potential thing in the game.
Interesting.
You know, one thing that really bugs me about this game is the wanted system. In Grand Theft Auto, you lost the cops, that was it, you moved on.
Yeah.
This, you have to go pay off your bounty, which is fun if you're going for setting the record for highest bounty, or if you enjoy having everything you do interrupted by fucking bounty hunters coming after you.
Yeah.
But I hate that I have to go to a post office and pay my bounty every single time I do something, just so I don't get in fucking trouble trying to do a mission.
Because you get spotted. I found that out the hard way the other day. I went into town, I got spotted, and I was like, are you fucking serious? Right. And also sometimes you're out riding and then 2 sheriffs go by.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would 2 sheriffs just be riding out in the middle of nowhere? What are you patrolling, you assholes?
Yeah. And
fuck you.
My main
worst game ever.
Worst game ever. 0 out of 1,000,000 million stars. We do a 1,000,000-star rating on Space Action Podcast.
I heard myself for a second. I'm like, shut up.
Well,
Play your cowboy game, you little fuck.
My worry with that though is the excessive and dishonorable greed that is Grand Theft Auto Online. And I'm worried about the fact that you're gonna have to pay your bounties off online, and that's just another way to get you to have to end up frustratingly spending real money, or else grind for 20 hours just to pay your fucking bounty off. Like, Grand Theft Auto Online started as a fun online way to experience that game with friends, and it has morphed into a play-to-win monster, where it's just like, the last, like, 6 major updates for it, where you get bunkers, you get airports, you get tanks and all these crazy vehicles, the DeLorean, the Batmobile, and I'm like, I haven't gotten any of it because they all cost like $6 million, which is a month of grinding, or 100 real world dollars to get a bull shark
How
card.
are they not getting caught for gambling yet?
There's no gambling element to it. You get what you pay for. It's not random like drop boxes.
But they're clearly using like addictive personality.
Oh,
shit.
for sure.
Didn't EA get busted when they for Battlefront?
Because you paid 20 real world dollars and you didn't know what you're going to get. It was like a slot machine went, here's what you got.
What were they giving out?
For Battlefront, it was star cards, like upgrades for your characters, outfits.
So that's straight up gambling.
That's gambling.
Because that's
and
luck
pay
of
to
the
win.
draw kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is, you pay real money, you know exactly what you're going to get, but still, it's like they make it so expensive that it's an unattainable goal, and you kind of have, unless you're a crazy person who can spend 24 hours a day playing the game for a month, it's unattainable. So as I'm playing this, because I enjoy the online elements.
So
I
wait,
like
but
doing
what's
that.
the detriment? Like, why do you give a fuck if some like rich trust fund kid buys like a bunker and a tank? It's not like he can roll around and fuck your game up, is it?
Yeah, in the online. They can roll, because that's why it's pay to win. They can roll around and fuck your game up, and also buying those things unlocks new gameplay. So new missions and new heists that I'll never see because I'm not going to grind for a month or pay 100 real world dollars to get a bunker. And then every update is like that. So every update is like, you got to pay $3 to $6 million just for the core thing you need to unlock the ability to do all this other stuff, which also costs money. So it's really frustrating, it's really annoying, and it really got me out of Grand Theft because it became so blatantly pay to win. And so as I'm in the back of my mind as I'm playing Red Dead, I'm like, oh, they're going to manipulate that. They're going to take advantage of this part of the game in the online. They're going to fuck you over with this part of the game, and that's kind of bugging me a little.
Gotcha.
Because it's technically a different company that makes the online component. It's not Rockstar.
You can tell by their marketing. Like, Jesus Christ, every time a pop-up comes up, it's like, Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, this isn't Grand Theft Auto. This is like the mobile app or something. I'm going to guess. Like, what is this bullshit?
But I do. Like, I go on Grand Theft Auto Online with my friends Barry and Brendan, and we just dick around, blow shit up. It's fun to do that, but it gets frustrating when someone like has orbital missiles and you're just murdered, and you're like, fuck you, really? You trolling little shits with your parents' credit card? Yeah. You know what is some deep, horrifying look into my psychology? One of the funnest things I do. I'm swearing to myself right now I won't edit this out of the podcast. But one of the funnest things I do is I have a male and a female character in Grand Theft Auto Online. I make the guy up. You can make him hairy from head to toe. I put little heart boxers on him. I give him a fancy mustache, put like cuffs on him. I invite everyone to my apartment, then I just go lay in bed. And then just watch the reactions of people coming in and finding this like sadomasochist looking hairy bear of a man laying in bed naked.
Who do you invite to these parties?
You can just invite anyone who's in your world. You can just set my invite. And I do the same with my girl character. I put her in lingerie and then I lay her down and I kind of like look at the different reactions from people.
The worst you've gone?
Everyone always just stands around. I recorded it actually. I hit the share button and it was 6 guys standing around me all doing the jerk off motion. And that happened both for my lady avatar and my gentleman avatar.
I figured it was for like at least the guy one.
So, but one thing that you are reminded of playing GT Online is if you've ever thought that the world is progressively safe for women yet, you're wrong. Because when I'm playing as the dude, people are like helping me out or riding along with me or dicking around with me. When I play as the girl, fuck how many just messages I get calling me a cunt, wanting to like show me your tits, killing me every chance they get, like always blowing my head off. And so
how many of those are just fucking 11-year-olds? Who has the luxury to play it that much?
Yeah,
you know? Like,
but that's fucked up if a whole generation of 11-year-olds are treating female avatars that much differently than male avatars. It's pretty weird.
Listen, I'm not going to defend it. I'm not saying it's something you should do past the age of goddamn 11. But
why not kill everyone? Why the
But
ladies?
that's how that bullshit's force fed to you as a kid. It's girls versus boys. Girls are the best and boys fucking smell. Like all that shit is like spoon fed them as kids. You throw in a fucking Xbox, it ain't gonna change the kid's opinion. It's gonna like he's gonna be like, fuck this. I don't know about you, but when we were in like fucking third grade, we were saying fuck you asshole, shit like that.
I was like a shut-in nerd with no friends in third grade.
So like I can't imagine. I remember half the shit I used to say at that age. So you plug me into a fucking thing.
But
You throw
were
in
you, like-
anonymity.
Were you threatening to rape women and shit at that age?
Listen, I won, but like I'm saying, like 11-year-olds or they have no barometer for that shit.
I know, and that's why this game. If you're a parent and your kid is playing this game, you're a fucking terrible parent. Because this is installing values in them that are really messed up. Like one thing is the persistence of trying to friend you. They send you a friend request, and then they say, "Why aren't you answering my friend request? Bitch, why aren't you answering my friend request?
Christ.
Why the fuck, cunt? What are you, some kind of slut whore, not answering my friend request?" And I'm like, that kid's not going to grow up with anything good.
Yeah.
He's not learning that's wrong.
No.
But I started getting frustrated with it. So me being an asshole, I went and I made my girl Indian, put her in a hijab, and I had her walking around like a Muslim woman, and then the hate went through the roof. Fucking sand, NIGGER, like messages just ripping into me, hunting me. People would hunt me on the map for hours in like America shirts to kill this fucking Dune Coon. Like it was fucked up.
Jesus
and
Christ.
as soon as I changed my avatar to that, I was like, oh god, like this is opening my eyes to how horrible people. I always knew people were horrible when you're first
when you see it physically. Yeah,
it's crazy.
You throw in some anonymity, and all of a sudden, people just like the real awful. It's like that Stanford
insanity.
prison
Yes.
experiment. Like if you fucking just assign roles in this magic world that's like adjacent to ours, like a prison or like the GTA world. Word's gonna come out of people. Like it's
GTA Online is why I now subscribe to the theory that if laws break down, so does equality. Because now I'm seeing the people who will like support progressive values aren't armed, and they're not willing to murder and rape you the way everyone else is.
Right. Well, that's the best the species have got. You know what I'm saying? That's their best and brightest, man. Is the one who can fucking beat the shit and kill you.
Right? The survival of the fittest when society's no longer a factor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
All those guys going to the gym, those like roid raging dudes when they can't get their fucking what do you call it? Steroids, and they fucking roid out.
Oh yeah,
and they fucking just start raging down the street, and then they get their hands on an automatic weapon, and that guy becomes our president.
And that becomes well, not our president, but
no, he becomes president of North fucking America.
Yeah, pretty much.
He gets 6 other dudes that look like him, and they have a tank, and they just roll around the fucking continent murdering people,
murdering everyone. Yeah, it's insane.
They play the A-Team theme as they do it.
No, it's got to be the Trump, how he plays the theme from Air Force One every time he goes anywhere. But I was saying earlier that it was weird that Rockstar lost a bit of their teeth. I'm coming to this revelation literally in real time right now. That Rockstar lost their teeth in Red Dead 2 because one of the first missions you save women from an eviler gang. And they straight up were like, we don't treat women like that. We respect them. They're our equals. And I'm right now in this moment now talking about the type of people who inhabit Grand Theft Auto Online. It's actually not surprising that they took a little responsibility and said, oh, we gotta send a better moral message here. These people are fucking monsters.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Someone at the board meeting was like, check out this footage from Carsobot. And they just fucking... You see the footage of just this hijab girl. The hijab walking
beaten. Just by a guy in an America shirt.
And everyone in the boardroom suddenly turns into everyone in that pub from Black Mirror watching the Prime Minister fuck a pig. They all just start looking down like, we have to correct this.
Pretty much.
We have to right this wrong.
If I go to my PS4 blocked list, it's like the length of my arm, just from dudes I've had to block from harassing me when I've had my lady avatar on there.
Jesus Christ.
It's great. If you want to actually do a quality social experiment, just play as a non-white woman in Grand Theft Auto Online. You'll see the real face of fucking the new generation coming up.
I'll have to chalk it up. I really want to chalk it up. It's just the fucking worst of the worst are usually fucking gamer nerds. Like, because again, there's that anonymity and also like that stress of fuck. Like dude, it took me. I'm 31. It took me 29 years to figure out that the way it goes. So I'm playing guitar. If I fuck up, I would go from 0 to 11. Like motherfucker, I would start screaming and fucking.
But you wouldn't do that randomly at an innocent thing. That's the creepy part about the online.
No, what I was getting at, though, is that I learned that from video games.
Okay.
Because you've built all this time, you're working up.
Then
it all goes away in a heartbeat, you know, and it's almost Pavlovian when you hear that familiar thing. You're like, fuck.
Just release it.
So you throw in anonymity and that amount of just, like, testosterone-driven idiot fucking males playing that shit. I'm hoping it's just that's the worst of the fucking worst.
I'm hoping
like
too.
For every one of those guys, there's a guy reading a book somewhere. You know, there's a guy painting a picture.
I'm hoping it's not a little like preview of our dystopian future.
Really hoping.
But there's how many? I think it's something crazy because they made billions and billions of dollars from the microtransactions of Grand Theft Auto Online. And I think it's something like 100 or more than 100 million players. So, and every time you go into a map of, like, I think it's 30 people max, it's always new people. And every time I log in, I get that shit. Like, every time. It's so bananas. I'm just walking around. It's so bizarre.
I've never played it at all, so this is fascinating to me.
You should come over sometime and just play an hour and watch monsters do their thing.
Yeah, I would be interested.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating. It's like watching like an animal being stalked, hunted, and killed, where you're like grossed out and kind of sick to your stomach, but you can't look away. It's like that.
On a lighter note, did you ever see that fucking Brotherhood of the something pants? I forget.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Yeah, but the women that know. It was a group, so that video game Rust. It's essentially Minecraft, but with fucking people. So, like, you're in this random... Or what's that new one that everyone's addicted to where the storm's closing in?
Oh, Fortnite.
Fortnite. Same kind of idea where it's like, you know, you're on an island and you have to find stuff. Some people find, you know, broken beer balls. Some people find, like, 9mm, and you have to, like, water finds its own level. It's like Battle Royale, essentially, right? So, again, it was kind of interesting. Like, it was almost like... I think that was you who I was talking to about... It could be possibly like an anthropological experiment. Like, what will people do if there's zero fucking things in their environment? Will it become like, you know, Battle Royale, who just has the gun, becomes the most powerful and can, like, you know, numbers actually overtake, blah, blah, blah. Really interesting. So this group of people, it's fucking hilarious. They formed like a coalition, and basically all their avatars just don't wear pants. So, like, they'll just run up on groups. And what's terrifying is, like, as you're exploring this land, it's quiet, right? Like, I mean, the audio emanates from your character.
Right.
So if you're talking to the mic and you're coming out of the woods, it sounds like, oh, you can hear them.
Yeah.
So, like, as people are walking through...
It's dynamic like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So people are, like, walking, you just hear, like, this horde, like, and, like, this wall of guys with torches and no pants comes over the fucking wall.
Is this like a survival horror game? What's the game?
Rust. You just have to survive. Like, you just
it looks like the Conan survival game that I was playing recently.
But they just go around and force people to take off their pants, make them all get in a Congo line, and they're like, and thrust, and your characters just go like this. And I'm like, this is some weird sort of madness. Like,
that's
male
how
masculinity.
Cults are formed.
Yes. Yeah. Like, male masculinity left unchecked is like a disturbing weird thing.
We need society way more than women do. We need people going, no, you do that, we're going to either kill you or imprison you.
It's so fucking funny. Anyways, if I find, I'll link it to you. But, like, my favorite is at one point at the end of the video, every single time someone panics, like, they'll try to... It's fucked up, dude, now that I think about it. Someone, like, there's one video where some dude tries to run, and he's going over the hill, and they're like, take him out. And like, they just pull out guns, and they shoot him, and then the one guy, it's hilarious, he keeps repeating, goes, oh, you fucked up! Oh, you fucked up! And sometimes, like, someone will, like, try to fight back, like, they'll be on down the green and they won't take their pants off. I don't know. So they'll fight back, and it just all hears, you done fucked up! And they just start, like, stabbing the guy.
I'm gonna have to give that a Google a little later.
Funny.
It's ridiculous. It does look like a classic survival horror.
Yeah.
Have you or not survival horror, but survival game? Have you played any survival games like Ark or Conan or this one here? Yeah. There basically that element we were complaining about in Red Dead, how you have to feed and water yourself. That's it. That's the whole game, and then you build stuff like Minecraft.
Does Cross Country Canada count?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say why the fuck not?
You were a truck and you had to deliver goods and services.
Oh, yeah.
That's one, right?
Do you remember the Oregon Trail?
I always died of typhoid. They always shot way too many bison, so like the meat would all spoil, and then people would get like fucking diseases from
the meat.
Wagons were too heavy.
I would always die of dysentery.
Yeah,
that was my big. I would lose at least 3 or 4. I'd live, but my children would not. But I always figured it's the Old West. You just have more children. That's the
my
whole
favorite
point,
was
right?
the when someone got sick.
Oh yeah.
Again,
little
Pavlovian.
cue.
I hear it
Yeah.
sometimes in my head. I'm like,
Wait, who's sick?
No.
Am I sick?
no, are you seriously?
Oh,
the
jeez.
fucking crops are dead. Fuck.
I always would blow a wheel by crossing rivers without
Yep.
being guided. That was always my folly.
I've lost a couple wagons up the river.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh, I love those old games. How far we've come.
Yeah. Did you ever play one called I think it was called The Incredible Machine? The character in it was surprised because, originality wasn't the thing in the fucking 90s. A German professor with a crazy white hair and a
The
mustache.
German professor.
But basically the whole game, let me make sure I'm getting this. I think it was called The Incredible Machine. It was on PC. And basically you had to build a Rube Goldberg machine.
Okay.
So,
How old is this? Like 90s?
I would have been maybe 8, yeah, I want to say mid-90s.
Okay.
But what was cool is that it was almost like a Rube Goldberg machine with Mythbusters. So like there'd be a basket over here and a ball, and then they gave you like a candle, a flashlight, a magnifying glass, a conveyor belt, and then you had like this inventory on the side and like 2 pieces of rope.
Okay.
So you had to find a way to get this thing to power the conveyor belt, like usually like solar power. The flashlight goes through the magnifying glass and then burns the fucking wick.
Okay.
And then knocks this ball down, but you had to time it right.
Solve it. It's like Mousetrap.
Very much
Video
so.
game.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was so addictive.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
It was one of my favorite games ever. Like, I think there was even a. I remember once they made a version on Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I remember renting
I never
it.
had I was always a Sega
guy.
Yeah.
They made a version for Super Nintendo, and I remember renting, but like you needed the mouse to really get the dynamics of having it move.
Right.
It just was clunky with the
Even now when they
D-pad.
port games that should be played with mice over to consoles, it's horrible. Wait, can I throw in right now a slightly off topic, but not that everyone who uses a mouse and keyboard always bitches about how it's the far superior way, but it's so much easier. It's so much easier to aim, like in a first-person shooter like Call of Duty. It takes 10 times the skill to be able to do that with 2 thumbsticks than it does just being able to aim your mouse. But they always
Wait,
like,
I'm sorry. You prefer the mouse?
no, I prefer the
controller?
The controller personally, but I suck at those games. I'm the guy who dies first. I'm terrible at them. But objectively, it's like they always think the people with the controllers are less skilled, but it's so much fucking easier to play a first-person shooter with a mouse.
Yeah.
You just literally have to aim the mouse
Yeah.
where you're shooting. It's
That's true.
so much easier.
That's true.
So they have an ego about them that is very undeserved.
You hear that?
You hear that? PC
Line is
gamers?
drawn in the sand, motherfucker.
What? Okay, give me your top 3 games of all time.
Of all time?
Because I
Okay.
think I got mine.
Number 1 in terms of playability, because I literally used to be. I got 10 minutes before work. I'll fucking do this. Star Fox 64.
Nice. Okay.
Probably my favorite one of all time. Just because for replayability, I'm going to do the easy route
Right,
today.
right.
Oh no, I'm going to do the hard route on Red. That's one of my favorites. Super Mario, the first one in the SNES, the first one with
Very,
Yoshi.
very original. The Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That one is.
Yeah, I never had Super Nintendo, so I always I'd be in like Toys R Us and I'd play 10 minutes.
Gotcha,
Of it. Like I'm
yeah.
not a dinosaur.
I remember, when Walmart had him set up and shit,
Yeah.
with a little bubble over the SNES. And I remember looking at it being like, it's the sign of the future. It made the NES look like a boxy turd.
It
Like,
really
look, it's all
did,
curved and shit. The cartridge sticks out of the top. That's so cool.
Yep.
But I don't know, that game, again, like in terms of all the Easter eggs in it, I love the game design. I love the above view of the map. The music's all fucking perfect. That's 2. I don't want to say GoldenEye because it's just the multiplayer's good. The game's kind of boring.
The game itself is kind of boring.
Shadows I like for nostalgia for 64.
Shadows of the Empire?
Yeah.
I tried to play that a few Christmases ago when I went home.
It's no good.
No, it's just the controls are like you forget how far controlling has come.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to play it, I was like, "What? One stick in the middle of a fucking? What am I doing here?"
What is this?
The
What are we
N64
doing?
controller was terrible.
It's essentially you're putting your index fingers together and then making an L. Like, it didn't make
You gotta
any
use
sense.
the bumpers to look her up and down.
Oh, to hold shit down. That's
Yeah.
right, to strafe and stuff.
That was horrible.
Remember how terrifying IG-88 was when you played that game?
Oh, yeah.
I still have nightmares of
You were on that like garbage train.
Yeah. Oh, that fucking train level is one of my fucking favorites. And they use the Escaping Besbin music just on a loop. It's
that one?
Yeah. My favorite thing, I remember, it was how mind-blowing it was in that level where you start to go through like the big warehouses and there's like crash Star Destroyer pieces and shit.
Like were you on Kessel? Was that supposed to be
Ord Mantell?
It was Ord Mantell.
I think it was Mantell with a T.
Or Howard Mandel.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I know this shit because I played the video game and Shadows of the Empire. The book is one of my favorites. So Boba Fett gets intercepted by IG-2000 on the way right just outside of Tatooine, and he blows him up. Dash Rendar ends up... I don't know, why does he go to fucking find...
I don't remember. Because I just hooked... I haven't played it since it was actually a new game, and then when I hooked it up a few Christmases ago, Hoth was fucking me over, so I didn't get too far.
That is a rough start to that game. The one that pissed me off was the Gladiator droid, because the rest of that level is really fun. Caesar's Palace at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's so fun, and then you get to that fucking droid at the end, and you have to literally kill it 3 fucking times. The last of which is a little laser head in this maze you have to navigate through.
I think I may have only ever gotten to like the last level once.
And the last level's dope.
Yeah, and then every other time, because could you even... Was it a password thing where you could put in the level you wanted to go to?
Wampa Stompa.
Wampa Stompa.
You put that into your login name, and then I still remember the code to this day. It was so fucking batshit. Hold on, it was the L button, R button, Z button, B and A, and I think all 4 of the yellow buttons.
Okay.
And then what you had to do is like move the joystick halfway to the left, and it would go blunk. You know that selection noise, and then halfway to the right. Blunk. It would do it 4 times, and then you get this pop-up menu that was like invincibility, get all stuff, which would get you like all full ammo, jetpack.
I know I did that, but that sounds like so foreign to me. That
I remember that because I did it billions of times.
I remember doing it, but I don't remember that process.
You
of
could
doing it.
Drive the ATST.
Okay, nice.
In the Battle of Hoth.
Do you remember the Game Genie?
Because what was that? It would just hack.
It was just a cheat thing. Yeah, you stick the console in it, and then stick the whole thing into your Nintendo. And then you would just... It was like access to the code almost.
Because I remember people posting like... Well, posting. Wow. Yeah. No, it was more like in... what were the name?
People recording on a VHS camera and mailing it to each other.
Remember on that fucking... there's so many games, like Nintendo Power was like the mainstream one.
Oh, yeah.
But I love, like... I have a couple of the older ones because like there'd be a code for Rogue Squadron, so I bought the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
Just to take it home with me.
Just to get the code.
And instead of just writing it down on a piece of paper in the Indigo. I don't know
or just pulling a movie whenever they go to a phone book and just rip the page out. I remember I did that once. It's like, this is what happens in movies, and I felt so shitty about it. So I was like, to veer us back onto the road. So were those your 3? Those are your 3. Did
I have a third?
You kind of didn't, but then you kind of went Shadows.
Okay, that's good for me.
Is that going to be your 3, your official 3?
Yeah, I think so.
I think mine are pretty weird because mine are the original PlayStation Metal Gear Solid. I played the fuck out of that game, and I never liked the crazy stuff, like the over the top story, because those games like Hideo Kojima, he gets crazy with his stories. Like there's phantom ghost powers and unicorn lightning and shit, and it's very weird. But I love the stealth mechanics of sneaking around as Solid Snake. I played more hours of that than I can even remember. The other Blade Runner, the PC Blade Runner game.
Interesting.
Point and click adventure, just moving. The worst character named ever, McCoy. Is he a replicant or not? Is he the real McCoy?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But again, just the story of... Because I had a huge obsession with detective stories when I was younger. I loved Dashiell Hammett, like Maltese Falcon, that kind of... The visuals of a guy in a trench coat and a fedora out in the rain, smoking a cigarette with a gun in his pocket, I thought was so cool. And so Blade Runner really, it recreated the world beautifully. It looked like Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. It was point and click. You just clicked this little character around the screen, investigated everything, and went on your own little venture. Obsessed with that game. Absolutely obsessed with it. And Grim Fandango. The LucasArts, again, point and click adventure. Well, actually, it wasn't point and click. You actually used WSAD to move this little character around. It was set, you were a Grim Reaper in the Mexican Afterlife Day of the Dead festival, and your job was to ferry souls, but then it's that Detective Dashiell Hammett story where you discover there's a conspiracy going on. It's sort of like Chinatown, where you realize the people in charge of the organization are sapping souls to get their own soul good enough to be able to go to the next afterlife, because the halfway point is the very themed after the Mexican Day of the Dead. What is it on Arrested Development? the Cinco Quattro, the fourth and the fifth, or the fifth and the fourth. And it's beautiful looking. I highly suggest just looking up the visual design of that game. It's amazing. And they released a remastered version of it on PlayStation. It comes up for free every once in a while. If you ever see it, download it. Because if you're a member now, PlayStation Plus, you get free games every month.
Oh, cool.
2 or 3 free games every single month. And sometimes they're really good. The Friday the 13th one is out this month. You should get it. It's amazing. I have so much fun with it. It's one person is Jason, one person is and then 7 people are counselors, and it's amazing.
Awesome.
And that's it. You just get dropped into the map. Me and Barry have been playing it. We play it just 1-on-1, so it was one counselor versus Jason. It's so much fun. And as a counselor, all you have to do is go and search things to find ways to get out of Crystal Lake. You can either get out with a car, you can call the cops. Or you can wait it out. And as Jason, you just have all these powers to hunt them down and murder them. I have not been as consistently scared, like jump scared, which is what those slasher films are all about, because usually I don't like jump scares, as I have in that game. Where I'm just like, fuck, Jason's right there, oh my god! And then I have to run away.
I'm such a pussy for that shit. I can't.
It's so fun, though.
You know how long it took me to fucking play, like, Halo or GoldenEye? Just because every time I play a first-person shooter, you in a blind spot, you start getting shot, and you just hear gunfire. I would shit my pants. Yeah? When I was a kid, it used to scare the fuck out of me. But like,
Friday the 13th scary as shit, man. Yeah. He gets you because you can move him, so he just disappears and then shows up, and you can literally be doing something, look up, and he's right there grabbing you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh my god!
Probably shit my pants.
It's so much fun. It's so much.
I go for video games for like fun shit, like riding a pirate ship, or I just have a number 3 Kirby. Flying around like a cute little pink puff. I don't want to be scared the shit out of. I get enough of that all the time.
I think I gotta. You know how they always break shit down to like there's 2 types of people in the world. I think there's 2 types of gamers. One who are in for the gameplay and ones who are in for the atmosphere. And I always find I'm more for the atmosphere. I don't care as much about like. I hate side scrollers. Even as a kid, I got bored with side scrollers. I love them. I have a friend, Jesse Fisher, who is a Nintendo guy through and through, and love what you love.
Maybe that's the caveat, is that Nintendo guys love side scrollers.
They love the side scrollers, they really do, because I think it always breaks down to, like, I own a PlayStation now, but I usually have an Xbox. Xbox tend to be more about the visceral experience games, like Halo. PlayStation tends to be more about sports games. They really lean heavily on that. And then Nintendo is like just the fun factor, quote unquote.
They're like
games.
the Mickey Mouse of the fucking whole game.
But not to use Mickey Mouse negatively, because I mean, like Zelda Breath of the Wild.
In terms of like Mario's as recognizable and beloved as Mickey
right,
Mouse.
Right, yes, exactly. Yeah. But I don't get satisfaction from running, jumping, missed it. Running, jumping, missed it. Okay, now I figured out I hate villains with patterns.
Gotcha.
I don't like that because I figure out the pattern right away.
Sure.
I like dynamic AI where I have to like second guess my decisions and he comes at me different every time.
Sure.
And I love first person perspective games. I love feeling like I'm in the world. So I think that's just the main difference. Gameplay, well, not gameplay, but like game dynamics versus atmosphere. And I've always been the atmosphere guy. That's like Blade Runner, Grim Fandango.
Right.
All about the atmosphere of the world you're in.
I think it's just, again, like going back to, like freaking out. It's that frustration of just wanting to get it right. Of like, there's a fucking shiny coin at the end of this.
Gotta get it.
I have to collect 100 of these shiny fucking coins. I get to see the end, and usually the end sucks.
Right? It's not really worth it. It's like life.
Yeah, it's it's never worth the amount of stress and fucking like, oh my god, it's like for what you get at the end of any old video game. But there is something to be said about just completing it and like knowing that it's going to get even more and more difficult. And like you start to redo it about the side scrollers, like Donkey Kong. I think of like those minecart levels.
Okay. Oh yeah.
As frustrated as I get, I will do a minecart level for 45 fucking minutes just trying to get it right. I will love it, man. Like I love that amount of frustration of just. You have to just not die. Yeah. Just go from this side of the screen to this side of the screen, just not die.
I think that's the thing, too, is that my hand-eye coordination sucks, right? I'm not a sports guy. So, because I'm either... There's no middle ground for me with side-scrollers. It's like, I'm really good at it when you're supposed to be. And then as it starts getting harder, I'm immediately the worst at it.
It's like me in algebra. Fucking high school.
Just immediately... But as soon as I'm like... I'm not getting better at this. I'm just dying every time. This isn't satisfying to me. That's how I always end up with side scrollers.
That's how I seriously though. Like I was good up with math up until 10th grade, and then the second they started getting trigonometry and calc, I was like, boo, I'm out. Like
I was really good at math, but I not anymore. That skill disappeared.
I still use it in retail. I never use the fucking computer.
No?
I try to do it in my head because now it's easy without the pennies and everything.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
guess
just
so.
it's just like doing mental push-ups. I'll punch it in, but I'll do the calculation in my head first, then punch it in. It's just to keep it right. You know?
I think my brain right now is the equivalent of like Chris Farley in terms of fitness. Like I've let this muscle.
Oh, I thought you meant in terms it's about to fucking hemorrhage.
Just about to have all the blow I've been doing.
Jesus.
No, I just mean like because like your brain is a muscle. You know, mine right now is Chris Farley. I've just been letting it fail these past few years. I'm like just repetitive work or I guess my creative outlet is this and like writing comic book issues and shit. But there's not a lot. Like I don't have a consistent input for my exporting of artistic endeavors because I don't draw, so I don't have the ability to just sit down and make shit. I have to I need components to cook my soup. I'm the chef. I don't go by the ingredients.
Why don't you take it like the recorder or something?
Take up the recorder? I'm horrible at music. Did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you the tragic story of how I got out of music?
To be continued.
Tune in next week to learn the tragic story of Chris's fall from musical grace, as well as a few other surprises in an episode that we'd like to call Space Action Podcast Confessions. Stay tuned, and in the meantime, check us out at spaceactionheroes.com. There you'll find our webcomic and links to all our other podcasts. Thanks for listening. See you next week.